From openly trash-talking Pereira to being handed 3 consecutive defeats by the nobody, the rivalry between Adesanya and the only man to knock him out is one the entire UFC community has their eyes on. But how did it even get to this point? Let me break it down for you. The first time the two stepped in the ring against each other was on April 2nd, 2016, for a Chinese kickboxing promotion called Glory of Heroes. Little did they know, their streak would go on till 2023 and possibly even longer. At the time, Adesanya didn't have a worry in the world. He started his training in kickboxing at the age of 18 after being heavily inspired by Ong Bak, which is a Muay Thai film, and had a record of 18 straight wins between kickboxing and MMA going into the bout.
Left hook counter. Again, Izzy lands. Look. Boom! Left hook right on the chin.
He already had a very prominent kickboxing career and was considered one of the best middleweight kickboxers in the world.
On display a little bit of everything from the arsenal in this first round. And what a shot! Rob Thomas is down!
With a career boasting over 80 fights, he became the cruiserweight champion in the heavyweight class twice. He had it all: the experience, the technique, and the record to boast. Pereira, on the other hand, was nowhere close to his level. The Brazilian was still a newbie and was trying to make a name for himself in the sport. Besides having a total of only 15 kickboxing matches, he had also lost to every other top fighter in the division that he had faced up until that point. At first glance, it's an easy pick, right? You'd think the professional would win against the amateur. Well, you'd be very wrong.
Pereira looking to make history here.
The 35-year-old managed to beat Adesanya via a very close unanimous decision, this being Pereira's first victory over a higher-level opponent. Now, although Adesanya believes he should have been given the victory, especially considering Pereira's banged-up state after the fight, the victory still landed in the Brazilian's lap, ultimately starting a very long, tedious, and exciting rivalry. Although the win was unexpected, it didn't shoot Pereira's career. Izzy, on the other hand, went off to gain 7 straight victories, including a win over Yusri Belgaroui.
Keeping active, just keep scoring right hands of his own, and as the rounds went on, he started using his kicks and his knees.
However, he failed to win the Glory title against Jason Wilness by a very close, unanimous decision. And just 6 weeks later, he was up against Pereira yet again. But there was no way Adesanya was making those same mistakes again. He learned his lesson the first time and was all fired up to get his reputation back. Ouch, that didn't work out. Although the New Zealander managed to dominate Pereira for the first 2 rounds, he lost his rhythm in the third. Take it from Simon Marcus, who's another top kickboxing middleweight. He mentioned that Alex looked like he was getting frustrated and barely managed to land any blows. Adesanya was on fire, landing big combinations and right hands straight to Pereira's skull. At one point, he even believed he could have ended the game had the referee not stepped in. So, how did the middleweight champion manage to turn the tables in his favor? He came out guns blazing in the third. Warming up by throwing some big punches and high kicks, he finally delivered the final blow: the knockout, the first of Izzy's career. He tried to block it, but Pereira was 2 steps ahead. Leading with a right hook-left hook combination, the 33-year-old dropped to the canvas. Everyone was shook. The first knockout of a career. It's a big milestone no fighter wants to achieve, but Pereira was having a field day. He'd just majorly leveled up. According to Izzy, the Wilness loss and all those people saying he shouldn't leave the decision in the hands of the judges messed with his head. He lost focus from the one thing that made his fights great: his ability to pick opponents apart. Either way, his near-perfect record had just gotten its second blemish from the same person. And the real story is yet to begin. Here's where the real tea starts. In a video published on March 3rd, 2020, Adesanya was asked about his very first knockout loss against Pereira. The defeat felt outdated and historical, since the stylebender had already held UFC gold for nearly a year, and was also considered one of the best pound-for-pound MMA fighters in the world.
My goodness, here we go, 5th round. Boom! Right hand. Bing! Look at that left hand.
So the knockout? Pfft, Did that even happen? Not to mention, he felt all high and mighty since Pereira had posted on social media about him after all of his UFC victories. His response, therefore, was brutal. He told Sporting News Australia that no one even knew who the Poetan was. At the end of the day, he's just gonna be another commoner boasting about the one time he beat the world legend. 7 months later, Pereira was coming for him. Signing a contract with Legacy Fighting Alliance, LFA, he began transitioning from kickboxing to MMA, and he didn't have to wait long. The UFC signed Pereira after just one fight, a brutal first-round knockout. And almost after a year, Pereira and Adesanya were facing each other for the third time, and you already know how it ended. Yep, the Poetan had another victory over Izzy.
And then
Oh
that
my
right
goodness.
hand. He's in big trouble there. And then again.
No. I mean, he was hurt bad. You could have stopped this long time ago.
The fight itself was epic, but it took the Brazilian all of 22 minutes to knock Adesanya out again. And if you think that's the end, do I have news for you. The two are scheduled for the title fight for the upcoming UFC 287, which will take place on April 8th at the Miami-Dade Arena. The fact that Pereira has emerged victorious in all of their prior encounters has only added more anticipation for the upcoming showdown, and it's got everyone asking the same question. Will this finally be Izzy's lucky match? But how did he lose to the same guy 3 times? What exactly is Izzy dropping that Pereira's picking up on? If I'm talking about fighting styles, Adesanya's no less than Pereira. The guy is possibly one of the best strikers out there. And while it's true that Alex packs a crazy amount of stopping power with an extremely dangerous left hook, the New Zealand professional MMA isn't new to facing serious knockout threats in the past, and has beaten his opponents with his impeccable technique, strategy, and timing, and is a pro at launching and landing powerful leg kicks.
Look at these low kicks that are really chewing up that right leg of Yoel Romero. Izzy's got perfect timing on that.
The two have very different styles. Israel Adesanya's game is built around wearing his opponent down with feints and Brazilian kicks. He usually aims to win by decision or hopefully get a surprise KO from one big shot. Unlike many, his ultimate goal isn't to knock his opponents out, but to win each round. He's often criticized for relying too much on decisions, but that's a pretty good strategy. Very few people can deliver a perfect KO, rather than just swinging his hands in hope for a good hit. Izzy's wearing out strategy is what works for him. Pereira is the opposite. He straight up knocks people out. The guy's entire career is based on his left hook, and that's all he focuses on, landing that perfect blow. His jabs, body jabs, rear straights, and even his kicking game are all centered on that big left hook. Besides that, Pereira just has this calm, freak show power. You'd think the guy was practicing by how calm he looks in the ring. That's until he swings up on you out of nowhere. There's not even a speed change or a big windup to indicate his KO shot. You just have to be loaded up on his fighting style to judge when he's gonna deliver the knockout. We'll see if Adesanya's managed to catch up on it in his upcoming fight. That's all about the ultimate feud between Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira.